And so we've arrived. Security HQ. Where evidently every single cop smokes. First stop we're going to make is floor -1. And we're going to go see Kale's friend Tarek.
Kale? Wow, where were you? Everyone thought you were dead.
It's a little difficult to explain. I'm looking for Den. No, what was your name again?
You mean you don't remember my name? Man, what possibly could have happened to you to make you forget my name? I'm Tarek.
Why did everyone think I was
You and
dead?
Den disappeared at the same time. When we found out what had happened to Den, we thought the same thing happened to you.
What happened to
You
Den?
mean you haven't heard? Oh, man. Den's body was found 2 days ago in an alleyway in Enekba.
How did he die?
Well, I didn't see the body myself, but I heard it was pretty bad. Ripped apart, torn to pieces as if by some kind of wild animal.
And we just disappeared? No, has the murderer been found?
Not yet. They're still investigating, but we'll get him. No, I've got no idea. But you can find out easily enough. Just take a look in the folders in the computer terminal in your office.
Do you know how I can get into Den's office?
Well, you just gotta be smarter than the door. No, seriously, the only way to open it is with Den's police card.
Thank you.
Good luck, Kale. Come and see me if you need any help.
I'm gonna go leave and be a corrupt cop. You'll have to forgive me cracking wise for the next couple of sections. I have this it's my own personal headcanon that I like to imagine Kale is actually a dirty cop, corrupt cop. We're stopping by the rest area to buy a cup of coil, which is this universe's equivalent to a cup of coffee. We'll need it later. But I like to view each of these situations under the pretense that Kale is a corrupt police officer. And I hope you see what I mean based on the unique dialogue options you are given. Here will be the use of Kale's small key, taken from the apartment. And inside is a scroll, the ancient scroll. That animation, I think, is the character attempting to lock the cabinet up. Here are just a couple of cases Kale was working on before being possessed by the player, as it were. Not all of them really have anything humorous going on, but there are two that are noteworthy. This one in particular, involving hacked sneaks, as well as the unexplained series of murders. I haven't read this yet. Seek the abandoned temple of Kalasar. From the heart of the star, count 10 towards the rock, 10 towards east, and you will find what you seek. That'll be noteworthy later.
Agent Investigator Kale 669. Report to Captain Leah's office immediately. The captain is expecting you.
Now, in another office on this floor, there's a guy you can talk to who hates you, essentially, for existing. He's your generic bully character. He's not important, so I just did not bother.
Agent Kale 669. I expect an explanation for your disappearance.
I'm not Kale, I'm occupying his body. Nah, I can't tell you anything. I'm conducting
Surely
an
you must
investigation.
have some idea of what happened.
Not yet. I'd like access to the case.
You've been taken off the case. Commandant Gander himself gave the order.
Why did he do that?
No doubt the Commandant has his reasons, and it is not your place to question them. You are here to obey orders, and not to conduct your personal investigations.
I have the right to know his reasons.
That's enough. I won't hide from you that you are the subject of considerable suspicion in this affair. There's no question of you continuing the investigation until the matter has been explained.
Are you accusing me of murdering my partner?
Your inability to provide a coherent explanation for your disappearance works against you.
I see. What are your orders?
I've decided to give you another case. Go and interrogate this prisoner, and let me have your report as soon as you've finished. You'll find all the information you need in the folder, along with your mission orders to get into the cell. Dismissed.
Very well. So this is our first primary quest, if you want to call it that. We're out to interrogate and investigate the goings-on of a Jenna 712. She's accused of having aided terrorists in bombing a depot, and it doesn't matter. Before we leave, we're going to read these. Kind of a detail you may have noticed is that anytime I get a new note, I immediately read it. If you want to read these yourselves, I've given enough time for you to pause. But you need to read those so that way you actually get addresses and information logged into the game itself. If you actually bother to go up to Commandant Gandahar's office, you're locked out, and you have no way to talk to him. Oh well. It's kind of interesting they give you that unique camera angle of the Mecha Guard, and to my knowledge, there's no special interaction. But, for example, reading the case in Kale's computer about the swindled sneaks, that gives you the ability to take a slider over to the bar in question. Real quick, we're going to stop by the pharmacy to turn in our sleeping pill prescription. We'll need it later.
So, to combat those diet failures that bring my productivity down.
In fact, why don't we just put that in the cup of coil right now? Do not ask why. We're just going to do that. We'll need it later. In the meantime, let's actually go complete our objective. I haven't really pinned down what it is that causes the car to teleport or not. Sometimes you can speed up the animation, sometimes you cannot. I think it has to do with the relative distance between your destination and where you are currently on the map. So up we go to Jenna's apartment. And Kale, being a dirty, corrupt cop, is just going to steal anything that isn't bolted down. If you want to know, eating food items just gives you minor amounts of health, like a lot of other games. Let's see, let's pocket her newspaper, chocolate bar. What else she got in here? Let's check her closet. Nothing under the mattress. Investigating the toilet reveals that underneath is a small key. I'll just pocket that. I've been given permission by the Omikron police. Let's just take all your stuff. Oh, sweet, 20 bucks. And a med kit. Man, I love being a cop. But most importantly, relevant to the job, is a note. It says, "From light, light comes." And this is your initial clue. If we look over in this area, and I kind of went a little too far, you can see that there's something behind this. It's supposed to be a television or a view screen, but it's kind of hard to tell. And if you recall, the note said "from light," so if you go to this light switch, there's a switch. Or light bulb, rather, there's a switch. Which reveals a gun and a piece of paper. Sweet, free gun! Along with a propaganda document. And examining it confirms it is a propaganda document from the Awakened. It's hidden in a compartment, and now suggests that Jenna is indeed aware of and involved with the Awakened terrorist group. And that'll be important for our interrogation. I should say now, I took the divergent path in the conversation with the police chief. Very little in that conversation changes unless you take the route of, how would you say, the proactive route of trying to get access to the case. Most of the dialogue in that conversation doesn't change unless you take the route that I did. Here we've arrived at the bar zone. One of many. Investigating Agent KL669 orders to arrest Lothar. You're wanted for your armor. And they immediately attack you. Now, alright. These guys attacked Kale first. That's granted. But then Kale decides to go into the bathroom and immediately kill one of the patrons who is just taking a piss. And since Kale killed this man, who may or may not have been involved with the swindling thing, he just decides to steal all of his stuff that was on the floor. Oh man, $1,000! Better confiscate that! Although, arguably enough, he did shoot at a cop, so, cop was defending himself. Right here, the only thing that we're really interested in is this Dreamers concert flyer. The only thing to note here is that it gives you the location for Harvey's Bar in Kalasar. And it will actually cause the Dreamers to spawn there. The Dreamers, by the way, is just David Bowie and his band. The mistaken jump there has to do with your cancel button being the same one as your jump key. It's the spacebar. So, now that we've had a busy day of routine police work in Omikron, we're gonna head back to Security HQ and check in. After all, we need to interrogate Jenna before we send her to the thought police. It's just proper procedure. Although, once again, Kale is corrupt, he could probably swindle her for some more money. You know, maybe I'd declare you innocent and I don't send you to the thought police. You know, I only found 20 Sedex in your apartment. I mean, I found 20 Sedex. But, maybe you got a little more in your pockets?
Can I see your orders?
Here they are.
Very well. Everything is in order. I'll lead you to the prisoner. Follow me.
No, my impatience gets the better of me, and I rush not to the correct door at first. You cannot actually access this room until he arrives. Can you confirm your name, age, and occupation?
My name is Jenna 712. I'm 24 cycles old. I'm a cargo pilot. I transport merchandise for the Tetra Trust.
Where were you on the day this weather center was attacked?
I was at work as usual. I was transporting spare slider parts to Lahore. My logbook proves it.
Are there any other witnesses?
No, I work alone on my cargo. I was flying between Anekba and Lahore at the time of the attack.
You could have easily taken part and then gone back.
Yeah, I suppose I could have, but I didn't.
Do you know someone named Carell?
I met him once. I know almost nothing about him.
How did you meet him?
In a bar. It was a while ago. I came in for a drink after work and he started to chat me up. I must have given him my name just to be left in peace. Maybe he kept it on his multi-plan.
Did he tell you about his illegal activities?
No. I don't imagine it's the type of thing he tells complete strangers.
I found a Deca gun in your apartment.
I know it's a forbidden weapon, but I live in a Nekba, where a woman needs to be able to defend herself.
No.
Are you going to condemn me?
I'll think about it. Anyway, I couldn't ask her about the propaganda document. The game has a hard limit, or that conversation has a hard limit on the number of questions you can ask. The only thing she says is that it's not hers, and,
Hello, Kale? Can we have lunch together today?
Good idea.
Meet me at the restaurant in Tahira Street. Hurry up. I'll be waiting.
It's actually a very good idea for you to go to the restaurant. You have to go to her at the restaurant. But Jenna doesn't say anything particularly convincing that if you bring up the propaganda document. Obviously, she can't, she can't provide a credible alibi for her whereabouts during the day of the attack. She has propaganda related to the Awakened in her apartment, along with an illegal weapon. I mean, you could put her in jail just for the illegal weapon alone. But we are not going to convict her, because in terms of gameplay, we will get rewarded if we do not do that later on. Aren't we nice? Or we're a dirty cop and we're looking for free rewards.
I'm glad you could make it. I ordered your favorite dish, shan steak. Eat it before it gets cold.
Great, I'm starving.
So, Did you find out anything about what happened to you?
Not really.
And what about Den? Did you see him?
Den's dead. Do you believe in demons?
You're not gonna tell me Den was killed by demons. That's absurd. Demons don't exist.
Perhaps they exist. Nobody knows about it?
If a censor hears you, they'll drag you off to the thought correctors. Do you really believe there are demons walking around in the streets and that nobody knows about it? The murders are the work of a madman, that's all. You don't need any demons to explain that.
Perhaps the only way to know is to continue investigating.
You seem so strange since you came back. It's as if you're not the same Kale I used to know.
Everything will get back to normal. All I need is time.
So, what happened about the
I
murders?
just told you. Demons. Case was classified confidential.
It looks like there are people who don't want you to know what happened on the night of your disappearance. You know, I really think you have to start over from scratch with the investigation you were working on with Den before you disappeared.
You're right.
Be careful, Kale. You may already know too much. I don't want to lose you again.
Agent Kale, 669, come in. There's a holdup going on in the supermarket in your sector. 8 armed robbers have been reported. They may be hostages. Go immediately to 816 Zodir Street. Reinforcements are on the way. Over.
I gotta go. There's a holdup.
Here, take this talisman. You gave it to me before you disappeared. You said it would protect me. Now you might need it.
So this is the important item we need to get from this encounter. And I say important, I should say mandatory. And the other thing I need to make note of that makes this restaurant trip serendipitous is this random beggar. He is the single most important NPC in the entire game. And if you think I'm kidding about that, I really wish I was. We'll have an encounter with him later. Just keep him in mind. But first, we need to call an Uber and make our way over to the supermarket, where there's yet another beggar outside. But that beggar's not important. Now remember, dispatch said there were 8 armed robbers. You at home count for yourselves how many there actually are. This is our first FPS segment. Aiming doesn't really matter, just aim for center mass and you can see they still get shot in the head regardless. The waiver gun that you get at the very beginning of the game has infinite ammo, which means that even though you can pick up other kinds of guns and they have their own ammunition count, there really is no point to using them because, well, your starter pistol kills enemies in roughly 2 hits, and 2 to 3 hits, and has infinite ammo. So, there's not really a reason to use anything else. Rest assured, I will, just to show them off. There's actually a wide variety of them, and each of them does have a unique effect when firing. Should be said that you cannot save that civilian no matter what. He will fall over dead, even if you kill the 2 guys before they shoot. 2 robbers before they shoot. There's a particularly goofy animation of the robber coming out of the cardboard box.
The last of them is hiding in the underground warehouse. Don't let him get away! He's the most dangerous one of all!
Okay, well let me see if I can pocket stuff first. Dirty Cop Kale on the job. So, despite the fact that Kale has a gun in his hand, he chooses to fight with fisticuffs. So as you can see, I'm exploiting a brief moment whenever they are going from a running animation to an idle animation, or a ready stance, if you will. They, I guess, just cannot block, and thus I can knock them down again. If you lose all of your health in this encounter, whether it is against the armed robbers with guns or in the fist fight, you will be resuscitated outside by an EMT. Police reinforcements still haven't come, and there were more than 8 robbers involved in the holdup. It's strange that I was sent to this death trap unaccompanied. If they wanted to kill me, they couldn't have picked a better way. Now, Kale, you're a little paranoid. The person who called it in probably just didn't know the exact number of robbers, and when dispatch asked, hey, how many robbers are there, the guy said, 8? You don't know that, Kale. But, seeing as how Kale's a corrupt and dirty cop, yeah, he's extremely paranoid that people are out to get him. Once again, I need to specify, that's my own humorous headcanon. We're now returning to go tell the police chief that Jenna is innocent, despite the fact that there's evidence to suggest that she is not. And we're going to then be asked to fetch her a cup of coil, which we just happen to have.
Well, Agent Kale, do you think Jenna 712 is guilty?
Nah.
Right. We agree with you. You can go about your business. Oh, do me a favor. Get me a cup of coil. Dying of thirst.
Why, I just happen to have one on me now. I didn't put anything in it, I promise. It should be said that no matter which option you choose there, the dialogue is the same. They agree with your assessment, regardless of the evidence that you've gathered.
Thanks. Dismissed.
It's kind of disappointing. However, once again, think of it like an adventure game. Don't think of it like a police sim. There was no reason to do that. You're absolutely right. Now, this is all in service of gaining access to the archive room so that we can figure out where Den's body is. And this is normally the path that is advised in most walkthroughs. However, we will not be doing that. Instead, I have an alternate path that I think is far more fun and interesting. And in the next episode, you'll be seeing just that.